Imagine you're hosting a summer barbecue. The sun is shining, your friends are laughing, the potato salad is out on the patio table.
Yeah, the perfect summer day.
Right, until a breeze picks up. Suddenly, your pristine backyard starts to smell unmistakably like a swamp. You try to ignore it, but the odor gets stronger, just creeping toward the food.
Oh, it is the absolute worst.
And what you probably don't realize in that moment of, sheer panic is that beneath your meticulously manicured lawn, a complex biological ecosystem has just collapsed.
Because you've been accidentally poisoning it for years.
Exactly.
It is the ultimate out of sight, out of mind scenario coming back to haunt you. I mean, we treat the drains in our home like these infinite magic portals.
Oh, totally. We just assume whatever we throw down them disappears into the void.
Right, requiring zero help or attention from us whatsoever.
Well, welcome to today's deep dive. We're taking you underground today, relying on some genuinely eye-opening insights from an article titled Preventing Septic Emergencies, the Shift Toward Proactive Maintenance.
Yeah, it's a really fascinating read.
It really is. Our mission today is to explore a fascinating shift happening right now in modern homeownership. We are unpacking why a hidden, historically ignored underground waste system is suddenly dominating homeowner forums.
Right, and how it is entirely changing the way we think about property maintenance.
Okay, let's unpack this. We happily ignore our septic systems, pretending they don't exist, until they force themselves into our reality in the most visceral, unpleasant ways possible.
What's fascinating here is that this isn't just a conversation about plumbing or, sludge. It is really a psychological look at human behavior.
Oh, definitely.
It's a perfect case study in why we wait for absolute, undeniable disasters to happen instead of taking very simple steps to prevent them. But more importantly, the sources show how that reactive mindset is finally starting to shift.
And ignoring the system doesn't mean the system is paused. I mean, it is down there in the dark, actively working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Actively working, yeah. And in a startling number of cases, it is quietly failing.
Yes. The source material is full of these unforgettable horror stories. We mentioned the ruined barbecue, but think about it being the night before you have a house full of holiday guests arriving.
Oh, no, don't say it.
Yeah, and every toilet in the house just absolutely refuses to flush. Or the ultimate nightmare scenario, raw sewage literally backing up into your pristine showers or your sinks.
Ugh. Or flooding your finished basement. Those stories are terrifying, and the sheer volume of them on these homeowner forums proves they are not rare.
Right, it happens all the time.
But the crucial context here, the thing people usually miss, is the timeline. A septic system doesn't just wake up one Tuesday morning and decide to flood your basement.
It's not a sudden strike.
No, not at all. These problems are systemic. They build incredibly slowly. We're talking about a microscopic accumulation of failures over months or even years before they reach that dramatic tipping point of a full-scale emergency.
Wait, hold on, though. If this entire system is buried under 2 feet of dirt, I'm not going to see a blinking check engine light on my kitchen counter.
Exactly, and that lack of a dashboard light is the exact trap people fall into.
So how is a normal person supposed to know what's normal versus what's a $10,000 disaster in the making?
Well, the early warning signs are actually there, but homeowners routinely brush them off because they don't feel like emergencies in the moment.
Like what kind of signs?
We are talking about things like the water in your bathtub swirling just a little too slowly down the drain, or maybe you notice unusually wet, spongy patches of incredibly green grass in your yard.
Even during a dry spell, right?
Exactly. Or you hear those eerie, unsettling, gurgling sounds echoing from deep inside the walls when the washing machine empties. People convince themselves it's just a quirk of an older house.
It's a silent killer for your house. You feel totally fine, everything seems normal, and then boom, the heart attack hits.
That is a perfect analogy.
And if you're listening to this and mentally calculating when you last paid attention to your drains, or if you're suddenly hyper-aware of that weird gurgle your guest bathroom sink makes, you aren't alone.
No, the panic is very real, because when that failure finally happens, it's not just gross. The financial devastation outlined in these sources is staggering.
It is massive. Because when you wait for a catastrophic failure, you aren't just calling a plumber to snake a clogged pipe for a couple $100.
No, you are looking at emergency pumping, which carries a premium fee. You might be looking at extensive pipe repairs.
And if the failure has spread to the yard, you're facing a complete drain field restoration.
Which is incredibly expensive.
Let's break that specific part down, actually. Because the drain field restoration seems to be the financial knockout punch in all these homeowner stories. How does a tank failure destroy the yard?
Well, it comes down to understanding the mechanics of the system. People think the underground tank is the whole system, but it's not. It's essentially just a biological waiting room.
Okay, a waiting room for what?
Its job is to hold the waste so bacteria can separate the heavy solid sludge at the bottom from the liquid effluent at the top. That liquid is supposed to flow out of the tank and safely percolate through a network of pipes into your yard. That's the drain field.
But if it doesn't?
If the bacteria in the tank aren't doing their job, that solid sludge layer builds up too high. Eventually, that thick, toxic sludge pushes out of the tank and into the drain field pipes.
And sludge isn't supposed to be in the yard.
Never. When that sludge hits the soil, it creates this thick, impenetrable black slime layer called a biomat. The soil literally suffocates.
Oh, wow. So it just stops absorbing liquid.
Exactly. It stops absorbing any liquid whatsoever, so the water has nowhere to go but backward, up into your yard or up into your house.
Yikes.
Fixing that means excavators tearing up your entire lawn, massive soil replacement, and often replacing the entire septic infrastructure. You are easily looking at several $1,000s, and in many areas, tens of thousands of dollars, completely out of pocket.
Okay, so if the design itself is solid, tank, bacteria, drain field, what are we doing to push these systems to the brink? Why are they failing so spectacularly?
The sources are very clear on this. Human error is the overwhelming saboteur. First, we have a massive volume issue. Modern homes use vast amounts of water.
Oh, for sure.
Large families doing back-to-back loads of laundry or running long showers can physically flush water through the system faster than the natural biological breakdown process can handle. The tank just gets overwhelmed.
So you're flushing the liquid out before the solids have had a chance to settle and digest.
Precisely. Then you have the introduction of physical blockages. We treat our toilets like garbage cans.
People flush everything. Cooking grease down the sink, which solidifies underground.
They flush wet wipes. And let's be clear, even the ones heavily marketed as flushable do not break down in a septic environment.
Not at all.
Add in hygiene products and heavy paper towels, and you are building a physical dam inside your own infrastructure. But the most insidious saboteur isn't physical, it's chemical.
And this is the detail in the text that completely reframed how I look at my own house. It's this paradox where our modern obsession with cleaning is actually what's killing our septic systems.
It is incredibly counterintuitive.
So what does this all mean? We need to look at the last 15 years of marketing. We have been relentlessly conditioned by television commercials to believe that a clean house is a sterile house.
Right, by the products boasting that they kill 99.9% of germs and bacteria.
Which is great if you were wiping down a kitchen counter after cutting raw chicken.
Sure.
But the article points out that pouring gallons of bleach, harsh chemical decloggers, and antibacterial soaps down our drains is basically a systemic poisoning event.
It is a vital, often overlooked point. A septic tank is not a static plastic box. It is a living, breathing, biological ecosystem.
It relies entirely on a massive, delicate balance of beneficial bacteria to actively eat and decompose the organic waste.
Yes. And the way you framed it earlier, comparing it to the human gut microbiome, is spot on.
Yeah, you have billions of good bacteria in your stomach that you desperately need to digest your food, extract nutrients, and keep your body functioning.
And when you get sick and take powerful, broad-spectrum antibiotics, it wipes out the bad bugs, but it also decimates your good gut bacteria.
Exactly. That's why your stomach gets so messed up.
Yeah.
By constantly using antibacterial cleaners and bleach in our homes, we're essentially feeding our house broad-spectrum antibiotics every single day.
We are systematically wiping out the entire workforce of good bacteria needed to digest the waste.
The tank can't process the solids. It gets bloated, the sludge builds up, and the whole system goes into failure.
That biological analogy is exactly right. You are continuously nuking the microscopic workforce designed to protect your home's plumbing. And because of this, because we are actively, though usually accidentally, destroying this biological balance, a major behavioral shift is starting to happen.
People are realizing they can't just keep poisoning the tank and hoping for the best.
Right, the stakes are just too high. If we connect this to the bigger picture, modern homeowners have actually become remarkably proactive in almost every other area of property maintenance.
Oh, for sure. We don't wait for our cars to explode. We change the oil.
Exactly. We routinely service our expensive whole home water filters. We have roofing systems inspected before the rainy season.
We tune up our HVAC units every spring and fall so the AC doesn't die on the hottest day of July. We have internalized that preventative maintenance saves catastrophic money.
And now, reading through these homeowner forums, that exact same preventative logic is finally being applied to the underground plumbing. The fundamental question being asked has shifted completely.
It's about time.
It really is. It used to be, how do I fix my overflowing septic emergency right now? Today, the dominant question is, how do I build a resilient system to avoid an emergency altogether?
And digging through these sources, there's another driving force for this shift that really stood out. It's not just the logical fear of a $10,000 excavation bill.
No, it's much more personal than that.
It is the raw emotional fear of sheer embarrassment.
The social factor is a massive motivator here. Nobody wants to be the smelly house on the block.
It really is. Homeowners are terrified of those rotten egg smells creeping out near the yard when they have company over.
Or those unmistakable heavy sewer odors wafting through the hallways from the guest bathrooms.
Oh, yes. Or the lingering foul smells that just hover over the property like a cloud after a heavy rainfall, which, as the sources point out, is a classic signal of a stressed, failing system.
Well, those odors are the physical manifestation of a failing biological process. When a tank is healthy, waste is broken down efficiently.
But when you kill off the bacteria with bleach,
The waste just sits there and ferments. It decomposes incredibly slowly through a process called anaerobic digestion, meaning digestion without oxygen.
right,
And the natural byproduct of that slow, struggling anaerobic process is hydrogen sulfide gas. That is the chemical compound responsible for that deeply embarrassing rotten egg smell.
wow. So homeowners are looking for a solution that addresses both the invisible mechanical risk of a backup and the very visible, or rather smellable, social risk of ruining a dinner party. So if we are actively nuking our tank's ecosystem every time we clean our toilets, and we are creating this foul-smelling anaerobic swamp, how do we reverse it? Because realistically, you can't just tell people to stop cleaning their bathroom.
You can't. And that is exactly why the market for biological interventions has exploded. Homeowners need a way to constantly restock and fortify that ecosystem to survive modern cleaning habits.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Because in all these online discussions, in the forums mentioned throughout the source material, one specific product keeps dominating the conversation.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
It's a treatment called SEPTIFIX. And what stands out immediately in the research is the form factor. It's not some messy, dusky powder that you have to scoop out of a bag.
No, and it's not a complicated, harsh, liquid chemical treatment that you have to measure.
It is a simple, compact tablet.
The fact that it is a single tablet is a major part of why it is gaining so much traction. Human psychology dictates that if a maintenance routine is messy, complicated, or gross, we will eventually stop doing it.
Oh, 100%. The process here is simply flushing one of these tablets down the toilet once a month.
But the science of what happens after you flush it is what actually solves the problems we've been discussing. When that tablet reaches the septic tank, it fundamentally alters the environment by releasing active oxygen alongside beneficial bacteria.
Let's really break that science down, because I want to make sure you, listening at home, understand the mechanism here.
What?
We talk about how the tank naturally operates in a state of anaerobic digestion without oxygen, which is slow and smelly.
Yes.
Why does adding active oxygen change the game?
Because it completely shifts the type of bacteria that can survive in the tank. Most natural septic environments are anaerobic.
The ones that burp out hydrogen sulfide gas.
Exactly. The bacteria that live without oxygen are slow eaters, and they smell bad. But when this tablet dissolves and releases a surge of active oxygen into the water, it creates an aerobic environment. It invites a completely different class of bacteria to thrive, aerobic bacteria.
Anaerobic bacteria are the heavy lifters.
They're entirely different beasts. Aerobic bacteria, which require oxygen to live, break down organic waste on toilet paper up to 20 times faster than anaerobic bacteria.
20 times faster. That is wild.
It's the difference between a bicycle and a sports car. When you accelerate the decomposition that drastically, you are directly targeting the root cause of the system's failure.
Because you rapidly reduce that dangerous accumulation of solid sludge at the bottom of the tank.
Exactly.
Which means the sludge never gets high enough to push out into the drain field, saving you from that suffocating biomat and the $10,000 yard excavation.
Exactly the point. You are actively managing the volume of solids. And there is a secondary immediate benefit to this oxygen-rich environment, which addresses the embarrassment factor.
The smell.
Right. Aerobic bacteria do not produce hydrogen sulfide gas as a byproduct. When they digest waste, they produce simple, odorless carbon dioxide.
Wow. So by shifting the tank's environment from anaerobic to aerobic, you are literally cutting off the source of the rotten egg smell.
It neutralizes the odors creeping up through the indoor grains and hovering over the yard.
So it tackles the sludge speed and the smell simultaneously. Hold on, let me jump in here, though, because I always want to look at these miracle fixes with a skeptical eye.
Of course, that's important.
Does dropping a tablet in your toilet once a month really replace the guy with the vacuum truck? Like, is this a total replacement for professional maintenance? Or is this just a clever Band-Aid that buys you a little more time before the inevitable disaster?
That is a critical distinction to make, and the source material is very grounded on this point. No product on the market, no matter how scientifically advanced, can guarantee the prevention of every single plumbing issue.
Right. If you are pouring a cup of hot bacon grease down your kitchen sink every Sunday or flushing baby wipes daily, a biological tablet won't save you from a physical pipe clog.
You still absolutely need professional pumping on a regular, multi-year schedule to remove the inorganic material that bacteria simply cannot eat, like grit, sand, or plastics.
So it's not a magic eraser for bad habits.
It is not. Think of it like taking a daily, high-quality probiotic for your own health. Taking a probiotic doesn't mean you will never need to see a doctor again.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
But it fortifies your system. It keeps your gut resilient so that a single heavy, unhealthy meal, or in the septic tank's case, a weekend with 10 house guests and a lot of bleach, doesn't send you to the hospital.
This oxygen-based approach supports the long-term efficiency of the system between those professional visits.
Yes, it acts as a crucial, active, preventative shield against the chemical warfare we wage on our plumbing.
That makes perfect sense. It's about building an actively resilient system rather than crossing your fingers and waiting for a fragile one to break.
Exactly.
So let's distill all of this down and bring it all together for you. What we've learned today is that your home is literally sitting on top of a hidden, microscopic underground ecosystem.
And for decades, we have either neglected it out of ignorance or actively attacked it with harsh antibacterial chemicals and modern cleaning habits.
Doing that quietly pushes the system toward massive, multi-thousand-dollar financial nightmares and deeply embarrassing sanitary disasters.
But the culture of homeownership is waking up.
Yes, shifting your mindset from panicked reaction to a simple, once-a-month, proactive habit, like utilizing an aerobic tablet, can fortify your home, neutralize the odors, and save you incredible amounts of money and stress.
This raises an important question, though, because as we always say on this show, knowledge is only truly valuable when it is applied to your own life.
Always.
It is time to seriously evaluate your own preventative maintenance habits. Are you treating your home's most vital systems like magic portals, waiting for them to violently fail before you pay attention to them?
Taking a proactive step now, before the grass gets spongy and the drains start to gurgle, is the defining difference between managing a home and being managed by its emergencies.
Absolutely. Stop waiting for the heart attack.
And as we wrap up today's deep dive, I want to leave you with one final lingering thought to explore on your own. We spent a lot of time today talking about the antibacterial paradox, how our modern obsession with ultra-sanitization, pouring bleach and heavy cleaners down our drains, is actively destroying the delicate biological ecosystems necessary to manage our waste.
It's a huge issue.
It really makes you wonder. If our pursuit of a sterile home is causing this much catastrophic damage underground, what other invisible microscopic ecosystems in our homes, our environments, or even our own bodies are we blindly destabilizing right now in the name of cleanliness?
That is a fascinating question.
We started today talking about how comforting it is to diagnose visible problems, like a missing shingle on a roof. But the most vital systems keeping our lives running are almost always the ones we can't see.
Maybe it's time we start treating the invisible with just as much respect as the visible.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.